first few days in Vietnam were like a trip to the ice cream shop. Almost literally. On a hot, humid spring day in 1969, supply choppers brought the new soldiers popsicles, the kind that tasted like blueberry shit, but you'd eat them anyway because they were cool and you were busy slopping hordes of insects off your sweaty pig arms. That kind. So despite the humidity, sweat, and insects, the guys about to join the 101st Airborne Division in their task to take some strategically important hills figured that all the horror stories they'd heard were a simple result of yellow journalism and individual incompetence. Horror. May 10th to May 20th, 1969. The battle for Hill 937. Hamburger Hill, which was not a hill, but rather a mountain, and which was called such because the battle literally ripped people apart, ground them like beef and spit them out. Over 400 casualties for the United States Army and an estimated 600 Viet Cong troops dead as well. We'll call it a dust-off. If we move him, he dies. Give me your belt. It's filth and shrapnel. There's nothing we can do. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sew it back on. The young soldier made the mistake of looking to his side. He saw his own foot lying 2 yards away. Help him, damn it! Shut up and let me do my job. Patino, hold him down. Ito, you need to cover the bastard's eyes. Marcus Cotton, the medic, barked, irritated at the incompetence of his platoon. He leaned back to the hysterical boy and shoved a thick piece of leather in his mouth to keep him from biting off his own tongue. Judging by the blood in his mouth, he had already done enough damage. Matt, I need you to relax. You're going to be all right, but you need to relax. Ito tried to hide the raw panic in his face while he comforted his best friend. Matt, look here. Don't look at your leg. Look at me. Tell me about your sisters. Little one's turning 13 this year, right? Matt, don't cry. Shit, please don't cry. Miguel Patino was trembling with nausea. Almost 3 decades later, Patino would sit with an aide and sob out the story of his war experience. Big, heaving sobs that took over the whole being. The aide would hold his hand, try not to sob too. Show him that talking would make things better. Show him how the internet could help him reconnect with his friends from the war. Although the aide would not know that 2 of his war friends were either sitting in a prison for theft or very busy battling with a war with early onset Alzheimer's. Back in the moment, the medic could only think, if Patino pukes on my patient, I'll kill him. Cotton cinched the belt tight around Ezel's thigh, what was left of it anyway, all quickness and efficiency. He had wanted to be a doctor, almost through his first year at University of Washington when they ripped him out of medical school. Probably should thank the draft board, he had told Matt Ezel and Ken Ito one day, still chewing on a blue-stained popsicle stick. I was studying to be a pediatrician. Now I realize that I fucking hate treating kids. Would have been a total disaster. Ito had nodded in understanding. Kids suck. Ezel had swished around his lukewarm soup and remembered the way Cotton had helped deliver a baby as they passed through a small village in their second week of active duty. He had smiled, thinking about it. The man could say what he wanted. Marcus Cotton, the medic, was a saint in Ezel's eyes. The platoon had finished that mission by spraying Agent Orange defoliants in an area nearby. After he returns to the States, Patino would realize that as the chemicals got into the village lake, the baby probably did not stand much of a chance. He would imagine the mother cradling her newborn, slowly realizing that something was wrong. The fish in the lake were all dead. Her neighbor's children would sometimes be born without fingers, without a certain muscle. One without eyelids, just a mouth, nose, and skin where there should be 2 bright baby eyes. To his family, it will seem that Patino would cry himself to death, and in a way, he did, and his family would be upset, but nobody would blame him. In the moment, Ezel's eyes were searching frantically for anyone to make the pain stop. His screams, muffled by the leather in his bloody mouth, shook Ito to the core. Shh, it's not that bad. Shh, honest, it's not that bad. Ito begged him to calm down, lying through his teeth the whole time while Cotton brought out the saw. No morphine left, the medic hissed, throwing down his pack in frustration. Ito's blood ran cold in his veins. The hell it is! What are we gonna do? Cut it off like we're in the fucking Civil War? Ito instantly regretted the outburst as Ezel's screams took on a renewed terror. Cotton's features had aged 15 years since the grenade that blew away chunks of the kid's lower body went off. The leg was in streamers, ribbons of rancid flesh circling what was left of his tibia. The right foot was going to be unusable, Cotton could see that. The lieutenant, Dion Marlin, blissfully quiet and equally as blissfully competent, was putting pressure on Ezel's shredded foot. The cloth he used was already soaking through with deep red. Already the flies had flocked to join the festivities. Thankfully, the tourniquet had stopped most of the blood from shooting out of the poor bastard's left side, but Cotton ran the numbers and decided that they would need a miracle if they were going to get him out of there alive. They ended up improvising, salvaging Ito's vodka to sterilize the gaping flesh before and after Cotton had finished the harrowing process of cutting off the excess bone and meat. They decided it was just as important to make Ezel drink some of it, hoping it would blur the pain. Although he had insisted that he wasn't a fan of alcohol and refused to drink when they passed a flask around, in his deadly pain, he drank it all. Ezel dies within an hour. It is the last day of the 10-day offensive. Ezel is dead exactly 32 minutes before the American forces declare victory over Hill 937. Lieutenant Marlin climbs to the summit and stands with his head held high. He watches as GIs clap each other on the back and toast to a successful mission. For the first time in over a week, he hears uninhibited laughter, the real, bubbly, and relaxed kind. Everyone is dirty as hell, and sometimes he cannot discern between the exhausted and the dead. The feeling of relief is just as tangible as the acrid smell of rotting flesh that rises up from the ground. He ignores the stench. They had just done the impossible, and so many had survived. June 5th, 1969. Not a month later, the U.S. command determines that the cost of maintaining Hill 937 outweighs any strategic value it possesses. U.S. troops are ordered to abandon Hamburger Hill. VC troops soon repossess it without conflict. Thank you.